Chapter 2, Divided by Flame. The orientation ended with a resounding clang of ceremonial bells, marking the beginning of the assessment rite. The recruits were gathered in a grand chamber with high vaulted ceilings and glowing glyphs etched into the floor. At its center stood a crystalline obelisk humming with inner light. It pulsed in rhythm with the recruits' heartbeats. "Before your formal training begins," bellowed Instructor Valen, "you will be evaluated and sorted into one of our 5 foundational divisions. Each focuses on a core path of martial development. Learn them well, for they will define your legacy." He stepped forward and raised a gauntlet hand. The 5 divisions of Bastion Hold are as follows. 1. Arcstrider Division, specialists in agility-based melee combat and light weapons. Known for their speed, precision, and evasive footwork. Arcstriders lead charges, intercept assassins, and dismantle enemy formations with surgical strikes. 2. Ironblood Division, heavy infantry and shield bearers. Masters of endurance and frontline defense. They take hits no one else can and are often the first and last line in any battle. 3. Skybrand Division, tacticians, ranged specialists, and elemental weapon users. Their focus lies in combining technology or mysticism with tactical supremacy. 4. Emberroot Division, focused on survival, guerrilla tactics, and field strategy. Emberroots are scouts, wild terrain specialists, and trained in beast interaction and trap engineering. 5. Dawnbreaker Division, a rare and elite group of cadets showing potential for leadership, command, and arcane resonance. Their path is uncertain, as it blends discipline with latent magical affinity. "The crystal will assess you," Valen continued. "It will see past your facade. You cannot lie to it. Your reflexes, instincts, mental stability, aptitude for field leadership, stress response, and combat imprinting will all be evaluated." One by one, recruits stepped forward, hands touching the crystal. It flared with color and glyphs for each, and the instructors called out their placements. When it was Cashin's turn, he hesitated. The crystal was warm. Alive. It read him. Not his memories, but his reflexes. Combat instinct. Stress response. Adaptability. Latent resonance. A sharp pulse of blue light flashed outward. Cashin Arcrite, Arcstrider Division. The hall murmured. A few nods of approval, others whispering at the clarity of the response. Arcstriders were fast, deadly, and among the most difficult divisions to master. Cashin stepped back, heart still racing. Ela was next. The crystal flickered orange, then green. Ela Ven, Emberroot Division. She shot him a look. Not of disappointment, but distance. Already the divide had begun. They were here for different paths now. But the war would touch them both. Chapter 3, The Path Forward. The moment they stepped through the shimmering archway, Cashin felt the air shift. The Arcstrider courtyard opened before them like a hidden world tucked behind the stone walls of the academy. Unlike the utilitarian sparring yards of the central training grounds, this area pulsed with energy. Crystalline pylons marked the corners of the space, humming faintly, casting faint trails of light like the tails of falling stars. Stone tiles beneath their feet held intricate glyphwork that occasionally sparked when students stepped across them. Training dummies floated in midair, rotating as if directed by unseen hands. Elevated platforms, rope bridges, and balance beams hung suspended between towers, forming a massive obstacle course that twisted across the courtyard's upper half. Cashin and his group of new Arcstriders stood in stunned silence, watching senior students vault effortlessly between platforms or duel with blunted weapons that discharged pulses of force when struck. It was organized chaos, light, speed, and precision woven into movement. "Eyes up, recruits," barked Instructor Mavrin, her voice cutting through the awe like a whip crack. She stood tall and severe, her silver cloak billowing behind her despite the still air. "This is not a playground. This is the crucible where agility, reaction, and combat intuition are sharpened into lethal instinct. You are here because you have shown a spark, nothing more. You will earn the flame. She stepped forward, boots echoing against the stone. You will learn to strike before your enemy draws breath. To read their motion before they commit to it. To become the wind in the forest and the shadow on the blade. Cashin swallowed, still trying to make sense of what he was seeing. His pulse hadn't settled since stepping into the trial world, and now it spiked again. Somehow, he was meant to thrive here. Some of you, Mavrin continued, are struggling to see the difference between your training so far and the Arcstrider path. So let me illuminate that for you. She raised a hand, and from one of the upper platforms, a student vaulted down with such speed and grace that Cashin barely registered the landing. The student rolled and came up smoothly beside the instructor. A lean figure with storm-gray eyes and short, windswept hair. They looked older than Cashin by only a few years but moved like a seasoned warrior. This is Senior Cadet Kale Draven, Mavrin said. Top of his class. One of the few who passed the shifting gauntlet in under 4 minutes. Kale, if you would. Kale gave a slight nod, then turned to face the recruits. Pay close attention. Without another word, Kale broke into motion. He sprinted forward and leapt up to the first platform. But this time, a section of the obstacle course came alive. Tiles began to flip. Runes glowed. Poles extended and retracted from walls. Floating orbs spun and released bursts of kinetic energy like invisible strikes. Kale dodged each with uncanny precision, diving into a roll beneath one strike, rebounding off a wall mid-leap, twisting through the air with a corkscrew spin before planting on a swinging bridge. Cashin could hardly breathe. Kale wasn't just fast. He was predicting the arena's movements, adjusting before the threats even manifested. Kale vaulted across the final gap, flipped forward, and landed smoothly on the training mat below. He spun, drew a training saber from a rack, and with 3 swift strikes disabled 3 floating drones, each exploding in a harmless flash of light. Silence. Then Mavrin's voice returned. This is the Arcstrider way. If you think that's impossible, then I suggest you start preparing to fail. Cashin felt a bead of sweat trail down the back of his neck. Kale returned to the group and gave him a once-over. You're the one who came in dazed. Arcrite, right? Cashin blinked. Yeah. Don't let your legs betray you. They'll shake like that, you fall off a rail mid-sprint, you'll be scraped up for weeks. Kale gave a half-smile. But I've seen worse starts. Mavrin stepped between them again. Orientation is over. From now on, everything is earned. Welcome to your path. Tomorrow, we begin. As the group was dismissed, Cashin lingered for a moment, eyes tracking the course Kale had just conquered. Somewhere in this world, he had to reach level 50. Somewhere in this chaos of movement and pressure, he would have to awaken what lay dormant inside him. And he would do it while pretending to be just another recruit.